everybody, my wonderful friends. I'd like to just give you a little overview. I was working on the doors, and I had promised that I would keep working on the doors right through to the new year. But a bunch of unfortunate situations, obstacles came into the path, and especially now, my new way of working. I work this way artistically anyways. I always say that mistakes are how an artist or any creativity works. Only it's mistakes that don't ever become mistakes. It's just learning to roll with things, kind of like surfing a wave or something. But anyways, getting to my door situation, and this does not look like a door, and I'll explain all of that in a minute. I had to stop working on the door carving because I'm in the basement now. I tried to hook up the shop vac, as I showed in another video. It just wasn't working so good, and I was also told that it's going to burn out the engine anyways. It's not meant for that. I also have about 7 different masks, ventilators, all with, of course, different cartridges that are not specifically meant for wood dust, but I figure if they're for fumes, they should at least deal with wood dust. But it does make it a little more difficult, and also with my kind of face, I can never get those things to perfectly fit. There's always a hollow where stuff gets in. This is something to think about. Anyone for any reason, any purpose, wearing any kind of mask, any kind, or beards, anything that compromises that lock isn't gonna do shit all. No matter what, whether it's wood dust, doesn't matter, mold, whatever. So with all those masks, Raven bought me a really expensive one that was a N95, this and that, parallel and blah, 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 half mask. It was super expensive. Of course, then along came lockdown and COVID-19, and the company, everywhere I go looking for it, they're out of them. And then once they had them in again, unless I'm a medical professional or a fireman or something, I'm not allowed to buy them anyways. Kind of fucked up, isn't it? So I called the company. They ignored me. So that just gives you an idea. So imagine all the people that compromise their lungs because some stupid rule. Anyways, I won't get into that. So, long story short, that's where I'm at now. And until things change and I get the proper dust collector and can afford to get one, I have stopped working on the doors, and I want to keep that energy flowing. So I had bought this 1961. I'd mentioned it briefly in a video just recently because it was in the picture. I've taken it apart. It's a 1961 called a Cooey, C-O-O-E-Y. Here it is right here, Model 60, Cooey repeater, 22 caliber. It's a small bullet. Most of you guys would know all about it more than I do. I bought this from a gun shop, so it's an old gun, so you take kind of your risks as far as how well maintained it is. But I followed the little guidelines, and I had to look down the barrel of here, and it looks like it's in pretty good shape. But I intend to completely overhaul it and learn as I go, because I know nothing, like nothing. I was in the Navy when I was 18, and I did take apart, if I can remember, it was an FN semi-automatic something or other, I can't remember. And I did find it quite pleasant and enjoyable taking and tinkering. So this is kind of combining the tinkering with the artistry carving. And I'm really, really excited about it. I just went and bought at the gun store just outside of Bancroft this little grind to fit recoil pad, small. It reduces the recoil by up to 70%. So here it is, and definitely there'll be some grinding because it's a bit bigger, and I might have to do some reshaping of the wood as well. But anyways, that's the idea, is that I'm going to find a way to make this not fit onto here. What I'm going to do, actually, well, I can't show you on my photos because the camera's being used, but let's see if I can get across. So I'm going to cut a little piece of this off here. I'm going to attach that and grind this down to that piece. Then between those two pieces, if you can imagine that, I've got some aluminum here, and I'm going to have a piece of aluminum cut on this piece that's on there. So if you can imagine, this will have a piece of wood, then it'll have a piece of aluminum, then what's left here will have a thicker piece of aluminum, and then there's going to be, if I could just pull this out, got this stainless steel here, and these will be two sections that I'll have to drill holes in here, so that's going to be interesting. I have to really think a few times before I actually commit. So they will be adjustable, so I can basically extend this out or in, and that's to fit whatever body type. And I've heard these kits are very good for children who, as they grow, they can adjust it to fit their body. I also really like the look of it, and seeing I'm customizing it, I'm thinking of it first as an art piece, and then the nice challenge is secondarily it has to be functional as well. And that my one experience that I had doing that, not maybe about 6-7 years ago, was doing a canoe paddle workshop where I made a canoe paddle out of cherry wood. And it was nice because I loved the aesthetics of it. I loved the process. It was very meditative. I didn't use any electrical machinery at all. It was just a spoke shave and sanding. And it was just so relaxing to work on that paddle and to get it down to that thin level of wood. But it couldn't just look good. It had to be functional. And there's something really amazing about exercising your brain to work between creative and functionality. So I think it's going to be the same way with this. Totally. I just bought from Lee Valley when we were in Ottawa just the other day, actually. I got a set of larger carving tools that I'm going to be using on the door. I'm just pulling out one here, and they didn't have the whole set, so I'm waiting for the other, I think the other two from the set to come in. This would be for slightly larger, more door, like the door size. They're really nice set. You can always get more expensive, but they're, not shitty ones. And then I got a very small set as well, which is for working on this project right now. So it's going to be really fun. I'm going to do some really nice carving. But besides carving patterns on this, what I'm really excited about is I want to sculpt this. It's called a gun stock. I can't say for sure what the wood is. A lot of these are made out of birch. It's not super heavy, and I think that's important because people don't walk around with ironwood or something as a gun stock. So I really like some of the curves that are in this already. I find, and I've always found since I was a little kid, and when I lived on a farm, I might have to actually finish up this video and then do another part later, but I love the shapes and the contours, so I'm going to reshape this as well as carve on it. And I'm also going to work in, I've got some wood over here, and I might use this bloodwood. It's a different color, but it's got that warmth that I think will work well with this. So I'm going to add a piece on here, and I might even add a ribbon, one little ribbon of a different color or so. I'm going to play around with the idea. So I've got lots of cool stuff to show you guys as the process goes in, and my eventual aim is to build my own from scratch eventually. Thank you very much for listening.